Good evening, everybody. Back for Sloppy Seconds. It is the prediction show. Just forget where everything's supposed to be this week. It's all over the place because we've got two games because of a World Cup or something that's happening later on. This is the prediction show. I'm already £2 down, apparently, because I've got to play Steve's Son's Fine. Welcome along. This is Leicester Till I Die.
It's time! Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts. Till I Die TV, your first choice for everything Leicester City. Tune in and join in now.
And now, here's your host.
Right, Chris.
All right, welcome along. This today is Leicester Till I Die TV. It is a prediction show. Please do what it says just there. Give us a subscribe if you haven't already. Excuse me. And if you have subscribed, then please smash the likes. It all helps with our algorithms. Running a little bit late. Apologies for that. We had a special shirt show, and we went through every team's 3 shirts. And there's myself and you'll know Doug from the Dugout TV channel. Great friend. His links in the description below. And we voted for all of them. Just so you know, there was a clear winner, so congratulations to Crystal Palace. But to give Steve some good news before we kick off trying to predict the results this week, Tottenham came bottom. They actually had all 3 shirts out, which is more than a couple of teams did. Liverpool had only got 2 out, Chelsea had only got 2 out, and Spurs still came bottom. With 3 shirts, they got 2 points. They got 1 off me, and they got 1 off Doug. That was as far or as good as they did. Let's welcome him in, and this it's going to be a first tonight. He has promised short answers. Yeah, it's not going to last, is it? Brad, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Yeah, I promise there'll be short answers. So, under a minute, that means, with me and how I go on about it. But no, I'm well, mate. How are you?
I'm not so bad, A bit flustered trying to do 3 shows in a day. I was going to do myself a 4th one, but I thought I can't do this. But Leicester came mid-table with 21 out of 30 for our shirt. So it could have been worse. But let's get him in. He's back. I'm already £2 down to him. So hello to Steve Lynex. Steve, how the devil are you, sir?
I'm fine, thank you. Hope everybody's fine.
I am. Are you fine, Brad?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm very well.
Good. Just hungry, eh?
Yeah.
But are you pleased that Tottenham came bottom in the shirt show, Steve?
Always.
I won't tell you where Arsenal were, but that might upset you. So, Jaden, good evening. Are you good at football? No. Brad is, and believe it or not, Steve is absolutely excellent at it. Maybe that's why, because he's an ex-player of Leicester City. And the sound of you're on Twitch, so you're probably too young to even remember him. Jordan. Hi, mate. I would do, but to be honest with you, we only have 3 on, and you'll see when I bring the graphs up, it's always the same same 3. But message me on Twitter, mate, and I will get you on a other show because we always have guests on different shows. Terry has said the worn out finger is here. I just hope the missus was happy, Terry. That's all I can say. I know he doesn't mean that. He was voting earlier on the shirt show. And Paul's in. Good evening, Paul. How are you? Well, I hope. Right, let's have a look at how things stand at the moment. I don't really want to do this, but I'm going to have to. Because as you can see there, somebody, basically me, is bottom. But good to say, Steve was back last week, and I did manage to catch him up a little bit. So it is really nice to have you back, Steve. Let's just say that.
Thank you.
I mean, can I just say what went wrong? Nobody got the Liverpool 9, Bournemouth 0.
Hello, right? Who saw that coming? Apparently not us.
Well, I mean, in fairness, you went for 1-1. You were well off.
I was well out on that.
I'm going to be careful because, as you can see there, Brad is the only one with a goal, which got him 3 points because he got the score right. But no, I mean, 9-0. I mean, I've got to say, I was the closest at 3-0. That's how bad it was. And I wouldn't have minded if they'd got a 10th, because if they'd got a 10th, Liverpool, they would have actually beaten, because it was a home fixture for them, they would have beaten Man United's 9-0, while still leaving us with the record for the away one, which is 9. But I don't know, it's not so special now, is it? We're letting too many people in, that's the trouble. Right, so we've got 2 lots of games to go through this week. Starting with, as you can see there, Palace hosting Brentford, a London derby, Steve. Brentford had a good start, let's be honest. They are sitting, I've lost them. Oh, they're actually 10th. Drawn 1, lost, drawn their first 4. Well, Palace lost, drawn, but they did beat Villa 3-1. And, of course, they lost to Man City after leading 2-0. They threw it away.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, watching the game and the highlights and that, they should have been 3. I couldn't understand why they disallowed that one. But
I was watching Sky Sports earlier with Dermot Gallagher on the referee, and he tried to explain why it was cancelled, but I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's a crazy rule, mate. You know, he's rolled the ball out, he's left his hand, and the ball's in play.
Yeah. Well, apparently it has to be the full. It's like I said. They actually said it was like a bowling ball, that it has to be bowled out. So it has to be sort of away from it. Oh, I didn't. It's one for the big boys, isn't it?
That many silly rules. You know, you got the handball one where it's on the handball if it's below the t-shirt line, and you know, it's just silly things creeping into the game, I think.
Yes.
But on the back of that, I was well impressed with Crystal Palace. I thought they went about it really well at City. They're unlucky. Brentford had a good start to the season, but purely on the way Crystal Palace are going, I can see Crystal Palace winning this one 2-0.
2-0. Right, there we go. Now, Brad, you were the one that said that you were going to give sort of quick answers. So with that in mind, let me just find this for you. Ready to go when you are.
Okay. Basically, very to even Manchester sides to this season. I'm going for our score 2-2
Well done, sir. Well done. You actually completed it there. You beat the countdown clock. And I completely didn't hear what you said, so I have to ask you again.
I said 2 interesting sides, both had good starts to the season, and for that reason, I'm going for an entertaining high score 2-2.
Are you going for the Desmond? Right.
Yes, I'm going for Desmond.
Hmm. I am as well, but I'm not going as high as you. I'm going 1-1. So, because I do think it will be coming together. Both had good starts, and I think it will end up 1-1. Are you doing 2 weeks, Chris? Yes, we are going to be doing 2 weeks, which is why we're going through it a bit quicker. And Scott says, any news about Amy Harriet to Leicester? Not at all. I think we've still got to wait for the medical in America for some reason. Doug, welcome back, sir. Both games finished 0-0 last season. Can I just say, just to sidetrack, if you ever want to know why I say that we should rebuild Hadrian's Wall, Doug is the answer. Just go and watch that shirt show and you'll understand why. And Terry wants the era to be for us. So, next on, it is Fulham hosting Brighton, Steve. Now, Fulham, 5 points so far, 2 draws against Liverpool, a great start for them. And then against Wolves, they actually beat Brentford, but they lost. We were unlucky, I think, because they got the first goal against your favourite team, Arsenal. But
I think they've come back up. I think they've come up with a different frame of mind this time. A better attacking style. I think they're going for it more and more every week as it goes on. Brighton, steady old Brighton as usual. They're compact doing whatever. So on this one, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
A 1-1 draw. Okay, sir. Brad, Brighton have had a good start to the season again. 3 wins and a draw, so they're unbeaten. They beat Man United in the first game 2-1. They drew with Newcastle. They beat West Ham United, and they beat Leeds, who had obviously a win the week before. So a good start for Brighton. They're sat up in 4th. We know they're obviously not going to finish there, but Graham Potter's got it right at the moment.
He has, and whilst it's probably long on odds for it, you can't rule out them finishing 4th. The way they've started, that's a flying start. That's a start that, well, let's face it, 16 other teams are envious of for how well they've started. Fulham are a little bit more entertaining, but for me, they're still going to go down at the end of the season. Sorry to any Fulham fans. I just think your style of football is going to get you relegated. I think Brighton are going to continue their run. I think they're going to get another win on the bag. I'm going 2-1 Brighton.
2-1 to Brighton. I think the thing with Fulham is this season, yes, they have done good, but I think it's because they haven't got Scott Parker in charge. And I think
9.
He's
what a reason.
I just don't know what he's doing, and I've got Bournemouth to go down simply because they've got Scott Parker. I agree with you, Brad, but I've actually gone 2-0 to Brighton. So I've gone a little bit different to you there. Doug has gone Palace 1, Brentford 1. He's gone for Fulham win. Maybe or not. And Terry says, by the way, folks, you must watch the shirt review show. Some of the kits, I misread that then, but some of the kits would not go out of place as prison uniforms for inmates. I do. If you wore some of those and dropped the soap, bloody hell, you want to be careful. Southampton, Steve. Let's have a look at Southampton. Apart from the fact that they've got a horrible second shirt, they're sat mid-table, lost to Tottenham 4-1 on the opening day. Tottenham destroyed them, probably because they had the soap. They got the draw with Leeds, but they somehow managed to beat Leicester. I don't know how that happened. But they lost at Man United in the most horrendous away shirts I have ever seen. How do you see this one going, Steve?
To be honest on this one, I think Southampton are doing a Leicester. You don't know which Southampton team's going to turn up week in, week out. They could be really good one week and then they could be absolutely horrendous the next. So, bearing that in mind, I think, Chelsea got, they've got a team that's starting to mix and play together. So I'm going to go for Chelsea 1-0 win on this one.
Chelsea 1-0. Okay. Oops, get that the right way around. Brad, we know what Chelsea did on the weekend with Leicester. Chelsea are up there in 6th. Bit of a dodgy start, but they've won 2. They beat Everton on the opening day, and Everton did well, in fairness, in that game. They drew with Tottenham, but they let a 2-goal lead slip. They got stuffed by Leeds, and we're probably glad that they were playing us next. 10 men, still beat us 2-1.
Yeah, talk about the perfect tonic when you're asking to play someone after taking a bit of quite a thrashing at the hands of Leeds. We're probably unfortunate to be that club right now. But we've seen that we moan that things haven't changed at Leicester. Well, things haven't changed under Tuchel for the fans at Spurs. It's still going to Spurs at Chelsea. It's going to be a dodgy season for them. Yeah, they're going to. You can see they're going to suffer a dodgy result here and there, and being away from home, I'm actually going to say that Southampton nick something from this, and I'm going to go 1-1.
Oh, I do laugh because obviously I know what I'm going to say when it comes up. And just as we're doing this, Daniel pops in, who is a Saints fan. And I think Saints are a wonderful team, and they totally deserve the win when they played us. Good evening. Good evening, Daniel. And if you don't go and sub to my channel for saying that on live, then you're a lesser fan than I thought you were. But welcome along, mate. Welcome along, Daniel. I agree with yourself, and I've gone for exactly the same score. I think Chelsea are going to be very up and down. All these games obviously are on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. All on all on BT TV. It'll be interesting to see whether Fofana's signed up and ready to go for Chelsea or not. Apparently, folks, do not worry, but he has. Well, what can I say about Fofana? You know, when you go out for the day, you've been out today, Steve, haven't you? And when you're dying for a poo, but there's nowhere, and you've got to wait till you get home, and you're holding it in, and you're really, really holding it. Then you get home, and you actually go, and then it takes 3 or 4 flushes to get rid of it. See, that's what I think about when I think of Wesley Fofana. But good luck with after 3 or 4 attempts to sign him by Spurs. Good luck with the 6-year or whatever contract it is. Chelsea in 2 seasons, he'll be coming over from Paris Saint-Germain will be coming over for him, and he'll suddenly fall in love with them. So enjoy him while you've got him. Great footballer, absolutely wanker of a human being. That said, Leeds going against Everton, 2 contenders for the drop last season, Steve. Leeds up in 5th, they've beaten Wolves, drew with Southampton, obviously a great win against Chelsea, and a 1-0 loss to Brighton last week. Everton, don't know what's happening at Everton. Lost 1-0 to Chelsea on the first day, although in fairness, they did play very, very well in that game. Lost to Villa away, drew with Nottingham Forest, 1 job Everton, and obviously drew with Brentford last week. I've got Leeds to finish in 20th. Ted Lasso of Leeds is proving me wrong.
Yeah, Leeds is buzzing at the moment, especially at home. I'm a bit concerned for Everton. I did hear something said on the TV saying that, he's playing 5 at the back and he hasn't changed playing 5 at the back. So I think, with Everton, you're either going to get a low-scoring game all the time and, you're not going to get many results. He needs to change his system, I think, for some games. I think he's trying to get, like he's playing in the top 4 and trying to change his system like Brendan Rodgers does a lot. But like I say, going back to Leeds, they're on a buzz, So Ellen Road's on a buzz, and I'm going to go for 2-0 Leeds.
2-0 Leeds. Brad?
I'm pretty much for Steve on that. I don't rate Frank Lampard as a manager, not at any level. Never rate him as a manager. Great footballer, don't get me wrong, but as a manager, I don't think he's just got the know to what to do when it comes to it. I actually think it's going to be just one goal worse than what Steve's predicted for Everton. I think Leeds are going to rout it 3-0.
3-0. And I've got to say that, when you look at the table and you see, let's be honest with you, Leicester are bottom, and we haven't made a signing. And then you look at all the signings, I say all, but they've made signings, Everton. They've made some big signings, and yet they're only 1 point and 2 places above us. So I don't know what's going on at Everton. Like you say, maybe it is, the Lampard effect, if you like. I consider them having the same problems that they had last season, which was away from home, they're going to be bloody rubbish. I'm actually going to go 2-1 to Leeds on this one because I think Leeds will do it again, despite everything I've said about them. I think they'll do Everton here. Spencer says 2-0 to Southampton and Fofana to do his knee ligaments. I was actually chatting on Twitter. You may have seen this, Brad. I don't know if you're in the same group or not. I was speaking to a new Chelsea vlogger in one of those groups on Twitter, and I did say I hoped that Fofana would break his leg in maybe the first or second game. Not many players I've ever said that about, but you can see I'm not bitter at all. Doug's gone 4-0 to Leeds. Daniel, you're in Canada. Do you know Miss Molina by any chance? It's the only other Canadian I know. I watch your preview and post-match shows after Saints, then subscribe. Like your analysis and passion. I'm sorry we told you Vestergaard and Bertrand. So you should be. So you bloody should be. Right. Bournemouth, Steve. No need to sort of, yeah, there is a need. They got stuffed by Liverpool 9-0, didn't they? I mean, it was embarrassing. I mean, I think they managed to keep all 11 players on the pitch as well. So they even haven't got the Southampton excuse. Liverpool, again, Bournemouth was probably the game they wanted after being, and let's be honest with you, they were played off the pitch by Man United. But Bournemouth are going to struggle. They won the first game against Villa 2-0, and then 3 losses. 4 to Bournemouth, by 3 to Arsenal, and by 9 to Liverpool. It is going to be a hell of a long season for them, isn't it, Steve?
I think, to be honest, if you look at the away games, I think that's where they're going to struggle. I think it might be a bit of a leveller playing on a small ground with a small crowd behind them at Bournemouth. So, it's the away form, I think, that's going to absolutely kill them. But it depends how the other teams go to adapt to the small pitch and the way they play. They've got Wolves in this one. I thought Wolves were unlucky against Newcastle. I think they should have won by 2 or 3 goals on that one. They're looking sharp. They've got the players going forward. So I think Wolves are going to win this one. But it's only going to be at a small margin, 1-0.
1-0. I mean, Wolves, Brad, they've brought a few in again, but they are only 1 place above us, although they have double our points, so that's not difficult. They lost to Leeds, which was on the first day. They drew with 0-0 with Fulham. They lost to Tottenham 1-0, a good performance there. And then they drew, like we say, Newcastle 1-1, like Steve alluded to just before. Anyone going to get 3 points on this one?
I mean, after losing 9-0 and not even like being down to 10 men, because it's easier. It's a little bit easier. It makes your job a bit easier as a manager to kind of forego the absolute disaster. If you're playing that game with 10 men, you can kind of go, all right, a little bit of leniency. Still a disaster, and you're still going to have to pick a dressing room up. But to lose that with 11 men, I mean, I know Celtic did that as well, but it don't count. Scottish division. I'm joking to Doug in the chat. That was just a.
I agree with you totally. Yes.
But I don't think they recover from this. I agree with you about Scott Parker. It's kind of like Lampard for me. I don't understand how he keeps getting top of the range. Very, very favourable jobs. I don't think they recover from this. Wolves clearly know how to make it difficult for you to score with how little goals they've shipped. Struggling up front, but I think Bournemouth mentally might check out for this game, and that could be a disaster for Scott Parker's tenure. And I think Wolves will win this 2-0.
2-0.
So
now,
Q Bournemouth winning 3.
Say what, sorry?
I said now Q Bournemouth winning 3-0.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the important thing for Bournemouth on this one is not necessarily the performance. It is the result. They need to get something from this game, having lost in the way they did. And even if that means putting sort of 9 behind the ball at every opportunity, I think they will do that. They need. I don't know whether you were ever in a game like that, Steve, but when you've lost by that many, it is all about winning, is it not? The next game.
Yeah, but like I say, the era when I played, is that even if you lost 1-0, 2-0, you got the hairdryer treatment.
Yeah.
I don't think the modern game now allows you to shout at the players or have a go at the players and try to wrap them up in cotton wool. And that's all I think about now is it's like you say, like Graham Souness said before, it's a man's game, and you've got to get back to the man's fighting spirit. And
I don't think Alex Ferguson would get away with half of what he did then. Now, but I just think Bournemouth are going to do what they can. I think to get something from this game, and I think if they get a point from this game, having been stuffed, and let's face it, when you lose 9-0, it is a stuffing. I think they're going to just do what they can to sort of hold on, and I think this will be a very unentertaining 0-0 draw on that. A lot of people, Steve, are actually saying that Steven Gerrard, I mean, when it comes to the sack race, we all know who is at the top of the sack race, but coming in a very close second is Steven Gerrard. Now, I don't think he'll go this year because this is his full first season. They won't go down, but I can't see them sort of particularly necessarily doing well. But I can't see Steven Gerrard losing his job here.
He's got to be careful, I think, the way modern game's going with his results. But, he seems to have lost his way. He doesn't seem to know what his best 11 are. He stopped playing with the attacking style when he first came. It seems to be more safely. So I think he's going to be under a lot of pressure. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon now saying about Arsenal, how good they are. They've got a good manager, good players, good ground. And on this basis, with Villa absolutely playing really bad, I'm going to get Villa to win 1-0.
Hang on a second, because I have this ready for you now. Doug knows all about this from earlier, but I have got this for you, Steve. Yeah, we're going to go have a look at VAR and see if we agree with that decision. I love it because this is hopefully where at least I managed to get some points back. I mean, Arsenal top of the league, Brad. 4 wins out of 4. Palace 2-0 they beat. Leicester obviously 4-2. Bournemouth 3-0. They managed to keep it down to 3. Bournemouth and Fulham 2-1. Obviously at the weekend. I mean, you can't ask 11 goals for, 3 against. You can't ask for anything more than that. Villa, they've got 3 points, but they lost to Bournemouth on the opening day. Palace 3-1 and to West Ham 1-0. One job Villa to keep West Ham below us. They did manage to beat Everton, but I don't think that's anything to sort of shout home about. I'm going to go first. Then I'm going to actually go 4-0 Arsenal. Sorry, Steve. But what about you, Brad?
Well, as I think, believe it was Meatloaf that once said, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was literally going to say, I think this is going to be an absolute slaughter. And I have to admit, I'm impressed with their transfer dealings. Yeah. You can't grumble at what they're doing. Yeah, they maybe got there a little bit shy on against Fulham, but a win's a win, and when you're riding that form, that'll just boost their confidence even more. And I don't like the idea that I don't think Steven Gerrard's going to last this season. I really don't. This is going to be the start, the big point where the questions really get asked about him, because I think 4-0 as well.
Wow. Yeah, glad you went for that then. Ivan, I don't know if you're new here or not, but you won't see Steve do anything about you're on about the Arsenal score, I'm afraid. Yeah. Man City, Nottingham Forest. Now, redeem yourself here, Steve, because I know they played Tottenham last week, but the fact that you actually went for a Forest win and you didn't just go for a 0-0. I'm sorry, that cut deep, that did, and it will take a long time for me to forgive you for that. But Manchester City are going to pummel them, aren't they?
I think so. I don't think everybody's raving about the signings he's making. I don't think defensively they're going to cope. They've got a front three that can hurt you if they get the supply, but if they score 3, I think you look at it that they're going to let 4 in. So Man City and Man City. I don't think Nottingham Forest will can match them on a big pitch, so I'm going to go for 3-0 Man City.
3-0 to Man City. Brad, I mean, Man City, they even go 2-0 down and they come back and beat you 4-2. And I can remember watching Haaland in the Community Shield and thinking, no, I'm not overly impressed with him. Again, just shows what I know. And Forest, well, we hate Forest, don't we? I mean, I couldn't even give them any points for the shirts in the show. So,
yeah.
How do you see this one going?
I've just got this feeling it's only going to go one way. Could we get another 9-0? So close after once just happened. I don't think so. I think if they keep 11 men on, they won't. I can't see them doing it Bournemouth way. Possibly if things get carried away and then they go down to 10. But I'm going to stick with a nice realistic 5-0 for Man City.
Oof. I thought you were going to pinch my thunder then and take my score away. I'm going to be honest with you. I thought they bought 17. Doug now says they could be up to 19 players. I mean, it's stupid, isn't it? I mean, absolutely stupid. What's FFP in there for? With how can you buy over a new team? You're nearly up to buying 2 new teams. How are you going to keep everybody happy? How are they all going to get games? And we've been there. Remember Martin Allen? And he just went out and was buying players he wasn't buying decent players. And Steve Cooper, in fairness to him, has bought some decent players. But I think somehow, Fulham did it. I just think you can buy too many. And it's a case of buy less but good ones. And I just don't see it happen. But I am actually going to say, it is going to be Man City. It is going to be Man City all the way. And I'm going 6-0 on that one. Now then, Wednesday, third of 3 or 4 games on Wednesday. West Ham, Tottenham Hotspur, Steve. Do surprise us. I'll get my VAR ready for you.
I'm going to go for 2-0 West Ham.
I wasn't expecting that. You, Brad?
I mean, it is Steve. We know where he's loyal. We know what's coming. I wish I could agree with you, Steve, but Tottenham look good. They've got the right manager at the helm. He's probably feeling like he's got a bit more power about him with how he got hired and how he came to kind of look who came crawling back. So Spurs look like a good force, and West Ham got a win. Like you said, Chris, one job for who they played against, but they're still not looking good, are they? And I just don't see another West Ham random upset on the cards here. I think Spurs will win this comfortably, and I'm going to And I think David Moyes' job might be in trouble, trying to get the squad to manage Europe and everything again. Clearly, they're struggling this time round. He might be getting a bit nervous on his seat. And I'm going for West Ham 1, Spurs 3. I'm giving West Ham a goal, and that might save his grace for a couple of weeks, but that'd be the only saving grace he's got.
Can you see that? I'm not sure if you can or not, but basically everything you said, and I agree. I even agree with the score. I've just written it down then that I'm going to go 3-1 as well. Because, that will drag West Ham, because, of course, West Ham were bottom before they won the other night. Now, Liverpool. Crisis? What crisis, Steve? I mean, talk about switching things around. But where are they? They are sat in ninth. They started the season with a couple of draws, with Fulham only on the opening day because they had such a dry pitch. Then they couldn't sort of beat Palace. They then lost to Man United, and fair play, Man United totally outplayed them. And of course, they got a few goals past Bournemouth at the weekend. And they are going to be up against Newcastle United, who I've got them as an outsider for Europe. And when I say Europe, I'm on about the Conference Leagues. I'm on about 7th place here, But I think, and I do like Eddie Howe. We've said this before. They sat in 7th, but they beat Nottingham Forest. Well done, Newcastle. That's worth a point in anybody's book. And that they drew 0-0 with Brighton. 3-3 with Man City, fair play to them, and they did struggle against Wolves 1-1. How do you see this one, Steve? Are Liverpool going to do it at Anfield?
I think the result against Bournemouth is going to hinder them more than help, because I don't think they had to get into second gear. Everything they did against Bournemouth was just too easy. So if they go into the game against Newcastle thinking that, they've hit form and they're going to do well, I think they might struggle. I think Newcastle will make it hard for them. But at the moment, I can't see where the goals are coming from for Newcastle. And that's the only problem. I think that's where they're going to struggle at the moment, because they seem to be getting it right everywhere else on the pitch. So I can't see Newcastle winning, so I'm going to go for Liverpool 2-0.
2-0 to Liverpool. Okay. Brad, I don't know if you're there. Your camera's gone off. Are you still with us?
Yeah, I am, mate. Sorry.
That's okay. Which way do you see this going?
It's going to be a difficult game, to be honest with you. So I've been thinking so many scorelines for this game, and it's just, I like the way we played against Chelsea, but I also know that Manchester United have got themselves out of that slump, and it seems like the Hague regime has kicked off. But I feel like Leicester can get something from this game. They need to get something from this game almost.
Leicester? We're on about Liverpool, Newcastle, mate.
Oh, mate, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. My screen went, and I'll private message you. So it's just something distracts me a bit. And that's why I'm off camera. I was on the wrong game, mate. I thought we'd done that one. Oh, no. Liverpool, Newcastle. Do apologise.
No, that is fine.
That's embarrassing. Liverpool obviously 9-0. Newcastle are a lot better outfit. Let's face it. I think they'll give them a tougher time. And this might shock a lot of people, but when you hit a high, it's actually quite difficult to maintain that sometimes when you go on such a stride and come up against a lot stronger opposition. Newcastle fancy the chances to Europe, and I'm actually going to go for Newcastle to pull off a shock here and go 2-2. I'm going for a Desmond.
You are going for a Desmond. Wow. Okay, let me just fill that in. Yeah, Liverpool, like we say, haven't had the best of starts, and I don't think we can look at the game against Bournemouth and read anything into it. I think Bournemouth were just that bad. Do you know what I mean? And I think whether Liverpool had won 2-0 or 9-0, I don't think there's any sort of difference there at all. But I am actually going to go. I like the cut of Newcastle's jib at the moment. I'm going to go 1-1, just to be different to you, Brad. But I'm going to be 1-1.
Check, you aren't going different.
Yeah. David says West Ham got lucky, in my opinion. So to be honest, I'm not too sure they're as good as they were last year. No, and they may struggle with having Europe, which of course we don't. I think, is that your clock going off, Brad?
Yeah, it is.
I always know what the time is. Now, Brad, I will go to Steve first. We are talking about the game that Brad wanted to jump into in advance. I'm sure he's been drinking. Leicester, what a start we've had to the season. Does Brendan go? Doesn't Brendan go?
I think, to be honest, Brendan should just turn around and say to the Leicester City players, take your shackles off, go out there, do what you're good at, and show me how you can play. I think it's a time where, they've got to stop listening to the manager at the moment, because I think they're taking the directions too true. There's no changing on the pitch if things are going wrong. They're just trying to stay at the same thing. So I'd love to see them just say, right, take the shackles off, go out there, play how you can, and then see what happens there. So Man United, I think, are going to be a different team away to what they are at home. I think they're going to be more attacking and more flair at home. I think they're just going to be more solid as they play away. So I'm going to go for 1 each in this game.
1 each. I think I would probably take that, to be honest with you. Now then, Brad, now we can talk about Leicester, Man United. I have replied to your message, by the way.
Yeah, I've just seen it, mate. Yeah, now we can talk about this game. Well, I'm actually still nervous about it. My opinion hasn't changed in that 30 seconds that I was talking about it. And yeah, it's just one of them games. I want to say we'll take the effort and the commitment that we saw against Chelsea, and the crowd get behind that, like they did at Stamford Bridge. They got behind the lads at most points in that game when it was still 0-0. I could hear the Leicester fans over the Chelsea fans. And if we get behind them and they start that game, they're going to cause United some troubles despite their turning fortunes. Like I said, the hard regime finally taking off, it seems. But I've just gone for a Desmond, so that's made me change my mind. And I'm gonna say that Leicester make us suffer the roller coaster, but finally get that win. And I'm going Leicester City 3, Manchester United 2.
Oh my God! I hope not. I have a heart attack if I have to sit through that game. But
I did tell you.
I'll take the 3 points. I mean, we did actually win this 4-2 last season. I think Man United, we saw against Liverpool a performance. I believe that it was because it was against Liverpool. They did sort of raise the game a lot, but they didn't really sort of follow that up. Who did they play at the weekend? They won 1-0, didn't they? Was it West Ham? No, it wasn't West Ham. Who did Man United play? Southampton. And Southampton were unlucky, to be honest with you. So I think the Liverpool, as excellent as they were on that game, I can't see them being that good every week at the moment. I'm going to go with what you were going to go with there, which was a Desmond. So I'm going to go 2-2, and I'll take a point if you offered it me now.
I mean, I would as well, to be honest with you, but I'd just like to think we'd get 3 points on the board now as a start instead of 1. That'd be nice, but I'd take a 2-2.
Apparently, Brighton Highfields, good evening. How are you? Brighton versus Leicester is now live on Sky Sports on Sunday. It's just been announced. Interesting. Interesting. Now, it's probably more to do with Brendan's situation than anything else, if I'm honest with you. But I mean, I just need to double check that, because I know there's already 2 games on Sunday.
Unless one of them's on BT, and Sky have also got the late kick-off, and I kick off.
No, they don't do a Sunday game, BT.
Don't they?
No. It is on Sky Sports. That's Sunday the 4th. Sorry, it's Sunday the 4th at 2 o'clock. Brighton, Leicester, that is on Sky Sports. Looks like I'm going to most unpopular. Sorry, Man United win, I fear. Yeah, I know. And no problems at all, that, Brad. So there we go. Those are the first set of matches. But of course, I said that's Leicester playing Man United on Thursday. What's happening Thursday? Transfer deadline day. And I would tend to say you've done that to us on purpose, FA, but you haven't, because it's one of your favourite teams, Man United, are also playing. So I don't know what you're going to do there. We'll be right back, and we'll be looking at the weekend's games, which will probably be a lot quicker to run through because we don't have any form, because obviously we don't know what they're going to do in this game. Back after this.
In a world where cat videos and memes rule the feeds.
Watch us on YouTube. Listen on your favourite podcast platform, or ask your smart speaker to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Indeed, please do that. And give us a follow and a subscribe. So we are then up to the weekend. It says match week 4 at the top there. I haven't updated it. Let me just... Steve, Merseyside derby. Everton hosting. They always do well at home. But again, it's Liverpool, and they seem to struggle to beat Liverpool. Can you see Everton getting anything from this?
I think this is a game that Frankie needs to win, to be honest. It's going to be tight. It's Merseyside derby. I think all the everything goes out the window for these games. So purely just for Frank, I think Everton are going to win 1-0.
1-0 to Everton?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it's one of those. My God, I thought I'd misheard you then. Brad, do you agree?
No, I don't see it at all happening. It looks like we're going to see how serious Chelsea are in terms of wanting Gordon from Everton as well, who's the only one that's seemingly getting any attention from Everton in terms of goals and whatnot. So if he's gone by the time this game rolls around, I don't even know if they'll score. And honestly, they don't like playing Liverpool these days. They do like to try and hope they're going to get something, but on paper, they really don't like playing Liverpool. And they're not going to enjoy this one, even if it is at Goodison, and I'm going 3-0 Liverpool.
Well, I must admit, I'm with you on that one, Brad. Everton are better at home, but this is Liverpool. And can you imagine the Everton fans, and I'm sorry to James if you're in at the moment, but can you imagine them if they were to get this? This would give them a boost to go on a good run. But I think I can only see one way. I'm going to go 1-3 to Liverpool. So I think if Gordon is still there, he might get them a goal. But yeah, I can't see them getting anything. Steve, Brentford hosting Leeds.
Yep. Brentford, like you say, solid. They're at home. Leeds will make it hard for them. So, low scoring game, I think. Brentford winning 1-0.
1-0 to Brentford. Okay. Right. Brighton are on the TV against Leicester on the Sunday. According to here, when did Chelsea play West Ham then?
that been changed on Monday night?
No.
Ah.
Fafana said he doesn't want to play on Sunday.
Yeah, no, it's just not. And they've changed it around for some reason. Sorry, Steve, what did you go for? 1-0 to Brentford.
1-0 Brentford, yeah.
1-0 Brentford. Brad?
I think this is going to be a cagey game. I think it might be a game that has a lot of excitement and near chances, but it won't actually have too much in the way of end products. I think this will be one of them entertaining 0-0s.
0-0s. Right. I'm actually going 2-2. I don't think there will be goals in it, but I also think it will be a draw as well. Newcastle hosting Palace, Steve.
Yep. Palace are going to go there to attack like they do, against the big clubs. And I think that's going to be the downfall. I think the Geordies at home, they welcome teams coming to attack them. So I'm going to go for 2-0 Newcastle.
2-0 to Newcastle. Brad?
I mean, you talk about a club once too many, anyone will think you're obsessed with them. But there is rumours going around that Crystal Palace are wanting Gallagher back on a permanent basis. I don't know how true that rumour is, but if they make that deal go off, that will really bolster their team. And obviously his suspension would have passed, so he'd be available for this game. But without knowing that information, taking it right now, I still think this will be a great game. And I think I cannot separate them because I do really like the way Vieira gets Palace playing, and I like the way Newcastle are building their team. I think they've got a very solid team. And I'm going to go for an absolute scorcher here, a 3-3.
Wow. I'll be watching that game if it was on telly. Just some breaking news. West Ham have signed Leon's Paqueta in a club record deal. £51 million they've spent on him. He signed a 5-year deal with the option of a further 12 months and will wear the number 11 shirt. And it looks like Kante could be off. He's interested in Paris Saint-Germain. So, Chelsea. Okay, I'm going to go for... I'm going to go 2-0 with you there, Steve. I'm mad, aren't I? I'm mad. Now then, here we go. Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth, Steve.
I think it's going to be like a championship game. I don't think they see themselves when they play each other as a big fixture. Bournemouth, the way they're playing at the moment, I just can't see them not letting the team score more than 2 against them. But I'm going to go for 2-0 Forest.
2-0 to Forest. Right. I don't like you when you do that, Steve. I really don't. I now know how Arsenal fans feel. Brad?
I'm willing to throw away the biggest potential of points being given to me here by Bournemouth's form, and I could easily do what Steve's done, because I do agree with what he's saying about them and go for a Forest win, but I'm not gonna. I'd rather risk it all and get a VAR, and I'm going to go for 2-0, but I'm going to go 2-0 for Bournemouth.
Yeah. Oh, no, you definitely don't get a VAR for that. And I'm only not giving Steve one because he's already had a couple, so I'm going to let it be quiet for a minute. This will be a tight game. I warn you now, all season, very rarely am I going to go for a Forest win. But I'm going to have to on this occasion. And I know. But I think Bournemouth are just... No, I'm actually going to go 1-1. I'm sorry, I can't go all the way. It's just against my nature. I can't go all the way for 3 points. I'm sorry. How many are Fulham going to beat Spurs by, Steve?
Well, Spurs got a good manager, some good players, good ground. Fulham's going to win 1-0.
Oh, 1-0. Right. Brad.
Fulham never learned from their mistakes in terms of trying to come up and stay up. They've done it a bit better this time around. I still don't think Fulham have got enough back to stay up. It's whether Spurs are going to show their inconsistencies, which they normally do after a good start. I think it's going to end Fulham 1, Spurs 2.
Wow. Well, I'm going to actually split everything up here.
It's going for a Desmond, aren't you?
I'm going to what, sorry?
You're going for a Desmond, aren't you?
I'm not. No. Actually, I'm not. Again, having watched Forest versus Spurs, Mr. Unpopular again goes for Forest. They have a better defence than you think. I am going to actually go 3-0 to Tottenham. Because I can't see Fulham. To be honest with you, I like Tottenham this season. Like Steve said, good manager. They're playing well. They did great to get a comeback against Chelsea. So that's the way I see it going. I'm just going to take Chelsea West Ham off the TV option here. Wolves Southampton, Steve.
Yep. Southampton are always going to be hard if they turn up away from home. The small grounds going to help them with the result, I think. Wolves have got the potential to beat anybody, but I think Wolves play a lot better away from home than they do at home. So this one I'm going to go for 1 each.
1 each. Okay. I'm going to go nail my on the master. I'm going to go 0-0 for this one again. Brad.
I think Wolves are going to be heavily reliant on how well they do at home this season, because I think they can be a bit of a mess on the road. I just get that feeling. Now, knowing my luck, I've got the wrong way around. They're a mess at home, but good away. But I'm going to say they're going to be reliant on the home form regardless, and I'm going to go for a Wolves 2-0 win.
2-0 to Wolves, right. Villa Manchester City, Steve. This is the late kickoff on Saturday. This is definitely on telly. Is Steven Gerrard going to have more problems?
I think so. I think, the way Villa are playing at the moment, same again. You can't see where all the goals are coming from. I don't think he's, like I said on the last comment, he knows his best team. The fans are starting to get a bit, you hear them booing at the end of the game. This one I can see Man City winning, and I think it's going to be the nail in the coffin. I think Man City will win 4-0.
4-0. And you think Stephen will go then, do you, that early?
I think he will. I don't think... I think they'll go back to a basic manager rather than going for a big name manager, because at the moment, the way things are going there, they're not spending the money. So I think they're going to try and balance the books and try and stay in the division.
Terry makes a good point there. Depends which player Southampton have shipped out to Leicester. I don't know if you I know you were watching the show earlier, Terry, but obviously on the shirt show, apparently they are going to actually change Southampton's away strip to be Leicester's strip. And the players are getting used to it before they come to us. I don't know. Do you think it's Stevie G's last game if he loses, but I mean they're going to lose anyway, aren't they?
Well, yeah, they are going to lose first of all. They're certainly not going to put up any last day dramatics out there. I just can't see it. I just wonder if maybe. Like Steve and you said before about it, it's his first season, and I think this won't help situations. But I don't think it will quite get a sack, because playing Arsenal and Man City, the form they're in and how prowess they're looking, you lose home games with expectancy, depending on how badly you lose, could determine how many more games he's in charge after this. So I'm just going to go for just a small, nice 3-0 Man City.
3-0. I've got to be honest with you. I don't think you can. It's hard to sack a manager when you lose to a team like Tottenham or Man City, because of how they are. There's not many teams going to actually get anything off them, home or away. So I think, I don't think this would be a sackable game, but I do think he'll be there for the season. But I have to. I'm going to go with. Yeah, why not? I'm going to stick with Steve. I'm going to go 4-0 again. And then we come on to the Sunday and what is now the televised game. But talking of Leicester City, do come back and join us at 9 o'clock when we have got a special What is Wrong at Leicester City. I don't know if anybody subscribes to The Athletic or not. I do. And Rob Tanner, who basically is the Leicester correspondent over there, did a piece, was actually not only as good as, but if anything better than what Rob Dawson did on Sky Sports yesterday. Now, if you're not subscribed, you won't be able to read it. In that case, come on to the show at 9 o'clock because we're going to go through it and dissect what he says. And I've highlighted a lot of points that I want to bring up with him. But he makes some very good points. In fact, after I had read that, I actually did change my mind about Brendan leaving. But would Brendan have been gone by this game, Steve, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think, you get a lot of people talk about transfers and things like that now, but the way the economy is going, the way things are going and people are going to buckle down, I don't think the club should be spending the amount of money they're spending. You're never ever going to make this money back, no matter how much you spend in the climate. You'll always be hundreds of millions, overdrawn or whatever. And the bubble's got to burst at some time.
Yeah.
But I think with the Leicester fans, I know the frustration is, going through my experiences at the club and after that, Leicester fans will not moan if they see the 100% effort on the pitch. They don't mind their team losing 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, as long as everybody puts it all in. At the moment, that's the only frustration is, and that's why Brendan's looking a bad manager, is because on the pitch, they look so confused with each other. They don't seem to be able to change the game the way things are going, and I think that's a frustration. If Leicester can turn that round, you won't hear anybody moaning. But I don't think now, the way the current climate is, I don't think people should be asking for the clubs to spend a lot of money, which, I'm not being funny and please don't take this the wrong way, but I don't think any modern day footballer is worth the money they're spending on. I couldn't go to the bank and say, I want a house for 500 million. They wouldn't lend you the money, but they tend to do it on a player that's might only been at the club for 2 or 3 years. So I think, the game's got to start thinking about, reeling the money in, and not bankrupting themselves. So I think Leicester will relish the Brighton game. I think it's a game where they know they've got to go and play like Leicester can play. Brighton are not going to hammer Leicester. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Oh, a 2-2 draw. Just to quickly run through, Brad, let's have a look here. Leicester City are said to be in talks with Schalke over this Armin Harit, who is a midfielder. Hopefully he's a winger. It doesn't really say so much, but Schalke are looking to offload players, again, because they're in financial difficulties. I'm just trying to see whether he is a winger or not. I hope he is, otherwise we don't need him. He's explaining he's been selected as players who are committed to the club. And with Srianshu to be a candidate to leave, that's why he's been leaving him out. I always would have thought you would have played your best players, whoever they are. Leicester City linked with 7 defender transfers as France International is on the radar. Loki Bard. I mean, it's 7. I mean, it's getting ridiculous, isn't it? And apparently we've received a transfer offer from Torino for Dennis Pratt of 10 million euros. Hopefully he says no, Brendan Rodgers. It's just, I can't wait for this window to shut. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I can't either. I can't wait for it. Well, as long as it's shut with Flop Farner all the way over in London, then
there's no way back for him, is there? Surely.
Yeah, no, there's not. There's just not. No, so hopefully that can go through. Then we can just shut the window and get it over and done with. We talked about before saying about Steven Gerrard, would lose against the likes of Arsenal and Man City, costing his job, and it might be a bit damning on how much longer he lasts.
Yeah.
I agree with Steve. As long as Leicester give effort, we can grumble losing, but it's easy to take when you see that effort. I think that was the reaction of the fans from Chelsea. Well, majority of fans from the loss to Chelsea. There was a lot of sod's law in it. There was a big deflection and everything we talked about anyway. But the problem is, if they get into this game and they've drawn against United, then it will give them confidence to go and do something against Brighton. Mm-hmm. But if they go into this game and they've lost to Manchester United, even if it's 1-0 or 2-1, this could be the start of that, and I hate to say it, that jinxing 3 games to save your job, Brendan, posts that will start coming out and being pulled all over the back pages if we lose to Brighton. I'm not saying it'll be his last game, but it will. I genuinely feel this will be that point where you see the press turn the screw. And I don't want to see that happen. I agree with you, Chris. We always say it, that I do not want my team to purposely lose just to see a manager get sacked, regardless of my opinion on him as a manager. So for that reason, I want Leicester to win this game, and I'm going to go for Brighton 0, Leicester 2.
Okay. I think this is the game where Leicester could start to turn things round. We've got Tottenham coming up, and we've got Man United obviously in the midweek. And like I say, I think with the squad, with everything that's been going on, I think that he looked for a performance against Chelsea, and I think he had it. He got them, and all right, they went down to 10, and they were sort of all over us maybe at the start, but I don't care. The performance was there, like you say, Steve. I can't. If we go to Tottenham and lose, I can't go mad at Brendan for that. I will if he makes silly substitutions, but generally speaking, we're probably not going to get anything from that game anyway. But this is the one where I think we're going to, we can get 3 points from, and I'm going to go again with you, Brad, and I'm going to go 2-0. You mentioned bubbles bursting earlier, Steve. Looks like West Ham could have been this season. See what I did there? Chelsea are going to beat West Ham, are they not?
Depends what Chelsea team turn up.
Yeah.
London derby. West Ham are solid, or they were solid. I think if you go back to managers having good seasons before and good runs, and then they try and change everything when things are not going right, I think that will be hard for West Ham to do. I think they've got into a mode of style which they want to play. So this one, if Chelsea don't score early, I think they'll struggle. So this one, I might go for a West Ham 1-0 win.
Wow. Okay. So Chelsea 0, West Ham 1. Brad?
I feel like because of who everybody's playing, every other game we're speaking about a manager that's struggling and got one eye on the unemployment centre, which one's the nearest location. And if West Ham's form does continue, despite pick up that vital win at the weekend, but if they go back straight into it and then they come into this game on the back of another defeat, they're not going to. They're not going to go into it with the greatest of confidence, especially if they don't find the net through the midweek games. And for that reason, whilst I think they'll be able to make it difficult for them, I think Chelsea will win this 2-0.
Right. It's at Stamford Bridge, which to me sort of makes the difference. I think West Ham are going to struggle. They've got Europe to contend with as well. They are buying the players, but you've got to fit those players in and acclimatise them to your team. But I see Chelsea getting the 3 points. I'm going to go 2-1 to Chelsea. 1-0 to Manchester United against Arsenal, Steve?
No, I'm going to, Arsenal have got a good manager, good players, good ground. I think if Man U attack Arsenal like they did Liverpool, I'm going for a 2-0 Man United win.
Oh, 2-0. Oh, you saw what I was thinking, though, with the 1-0. And then it's so 2-0 Man United.
Yep.
Brad?
Arsenal have got a good manager, good team, shit ground. I honestly can't separate these two teams, especially if Manchester United isn't another false dawn. We talk about Chelsea not changing too much from last season and Spurs showing signs of still being susceptible. And Arsenal do look good at the moment, but I agree, if Man U play the way they did against Liverpool, even if Arsenal are on top form, I think they'll get something from it. There'll be goals, and I'm going to end it on a classic, a Desmond for me.
A 2-2. Right. Well, for me, I mean, Man United, I think they've got a good manager. But that's where it ends, because they've got a shit ground. They've got a shit atmosphere within the squad at the moment. They've got shit training ground. Arsenal, and please never anybody remind me I'm really saying this, but Arsenal have done well. I've always liked Arteta. I do believe that, given time that he would come good. How good remains to be seen, obviously, and whether that will be good enough for the Arsenal hierarchy, because we know whatever he does, it won't be good enough for the fans. I just think I can't see the Man United that turned up against Liverpool doing that every week. Unfortunately, I think that was because it was Liverpool. But I'm going to go for an Arsenal win. So I'm going to split this down the middle, and I'm going to go 1-2 to Arsenal. And I think Arsenal have got a very good chance of doing well this season. So we did it, guys. That is 2 weeks worth of results we've done. So, oops.
Do you know what the sad thing is? We've probably done that. We've probably just predicted 20 results quicker than we would do a 10 result show.
I was thinking that as we were going through it. But you might want to ask yourself, Brad.
I'm going to shut up.
Yeah, what is the deciding factor on that?
The deciding factor is when it's a 10-1, I get more time to get inside your minds and make you go for silly predictions. And of course, Steve doesn't like Spurs and Arsenal.
Yes, yeah. We're back to normal next week with this Tuesday at 9. Got Tony Cotti on the channel 7:15 on Monday, but do join me back at 9 o'clock for the Rob Tanner interview 1-to-1 and see if he can explain what's going on at Leicester, and even better, predict what is going to go on once the window finishes. Steve, thank you very much. Do apologise to your son. Give him the £2. I'll send the IOU down. Thanks very much for doing it, mate, and I'll see you next week.
See you, Steve.
Bye-bye.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Brad, I'll let you go because I know something's happened and I know you've not eaten. So all the best, mate. Hope everything's going to be okay. And I will see you. We're not doing a post-match for the Man United simply because it's cocked up this week. There's so many, having 2 games, but having everything else on as well. We'd be doing 3 shows for it's ridiculous. But I will see you possibly on the, come on to the watch along and do a bit of, on the end of that, by all means. So possibly see you then. You'd be most welcome to do that at the end of the watch along itself. All the best, mate. Hopefully everything's okay at your end, and I'll speak to you soon.
Cheers, buddy. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks to Brad as well. Fingers crossed for him there. We will be back in an hour and a half, or an hour and 27 minutes. That was probably quicker for 20 games than we do when it's 10. But of course, good news is we're going to be on the telly. Leicester City are. So that's something to look forward to against Brighton. Like I say, please do, if you haven't already, please do this. Please do subscribe to us. It does mean a lot. We are trying to get to the 1,500 before the World Cup. Fingers crossed for that. If you are subscribed, please like. And if you are bank holiday, you're feeling generous, an extra day off work, get over to footballcontentawards.com/voting. I think it's the top right-hand corner, best new content creator. And just tap away there, Leicester Till I Die TV. It would be very, very much appreciated. But I say, don't forget that subscribe button. I'll see you in an hour and 26 minutes now. Take care, guys. Don't touch that dial. And I'll see you at 9 o'clock. Good night.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You better like them too, or I'll be back.
Sam Butler on the pitch, they think it's all over. It is now.